Georgetown City Council met Thursday to hear the results of a study of the city's electric rate structure. That study was conducted by Rhett Fellis Consulting. During the meeting, council was told the city is collecting about 16% less from residential customers than is being spent. Some of that deficit is being absorbed by the commercial sector within the city, but not enough. For that reason, there's expected to be a 4% rate increase for residents in the city on July 1st, with another 4% rate hike on July 1st, 2026. These increases were approved by Georgetown City Council last year. The city purchases electricity from Santee Cooper, and that utility is increasing rates on April 1st. Here's some of what was said during tonight's meeting.
For the residential class, we are proposing a 2.5% target rate adjustment, meaning that we're going to go 2.5% closer to to residential class covering all of its costs. So instead of that 16% under recovery, they'll only be at about 11% under recovery. For the commercial class, we left them alone. And then for the extra large commercial, we are proposing an almost 10% adjustment down, so that they'll go from 21% to about 14% over recovery.
Well, the easiest way to avoid rate shock is to not adjust the residential rates and let the commercial people leave it.
Well, and so we're starting to adjust them, but we can't adjust them to make the 16% difference in 1 year. That will lead to rate shock for residential customers. So what we're saying here is we're doing a 2.5% adjustment so that the residential class will be only 11% under recovery. So we went from 16 to 11.
And my point is, instead of raising residential 2.5%, we could take that amount of revenue and back it into the extra large, into commercial demand customers.
Yes, if you
and leave the
chose
residential at the 4% as currently projected.
correct, you could do that if you wanted.
I just want to make sure we all understand that these are options.
Yes. So residential class, you can see that your current monthly charge is $11.18. We're proposing that go to $15.27. So what we're doing here is we are trying to bring a little bit more revenue stability. So what we did is we increased the monthly charge slightly, but then when you look at the usage charge, that one went down from 12 cents or 12.077 to 11994. So that still represents that overall 4% increase. It's just structured such that the base charge recovers slightly more so that it provides you a little more revenue stability.
After the meeting, we spoke with City Administrator Scott Whittier and asked what this means for city residents.
Yeah, so Raf Tellis, a third-party consultant, did a study about 2022, and then they did another one in 2023. Through that study, they proposed rate increases for 5 years. So for this particular year, it was indicative to raise it up by the 4%.
Okay, so that's going to go into effect July 1st.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes. That was what the schedule was.
And then there'll be another rate increase July 1st of 26. Because it was a 3-year. But then I saw on the chart tonight something, a 3% increase all the way through 2033. So that's proposed.
That's all proposed, yes. And the council has not reviewed that to
Right.
see that's the direction we're going.
Okay. Now, you mentioned April 1st, Santee Cooper is going to be increasing their rates because they're going to the peak hours. Is the city going to go to peak hours?
We are not going to peak hours for our residential class. So the rate structure from the wholesale supplier, which is Santee Cooper, is staying exactly the same as it's been for a very long time. They are changing their rate structure for their residential, and so that doesn't affect us. So the way we're receiving the bill is not the same way. They're just increasing the values on that.
Okay. Why can't the city not be in the electric business and just let people get the power from Santee Cooper?
So we actually are not there for profit. As a municipal utility, we are trying to pass through the cost and make it so that we are able to provide the lowest price we can. You're still going to have any kind of a cost, even if it's Santee Cooper, they're going to do the same thing. Their cost to get the energy to us would be the same amount. And so then they would be doing the same thing as we are. So it's not necessarily a third party middleman kind of a situation. The way the electric industry is, you have generation, you have transmission, and then you have distribution. And they can be different owners.
But why does the city need to be in the electric business, I guess?
I think it's a very good benefit for the residents to be able to pass on versus having an investor own or something like that where they have to provide a profit. With the municipality, we are just trying to pass the cost along.